One.
Good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Coffee. I am Lance McKinnon, and I'm here with the one and only Tiffany Linderman. Good morning, Tiffany. How are you this Saturday?
Good morning. I am doing really, really well, and I'm like so excited that the weather is warming up, the flowers are blooming, the sun is shining. So
I
happy.
know. I missed you last Saturday because I actually peeked out my window while I was doing the podcast, and you were actually planting flowers. And so I get it. That's why we're taking our spring schedule. But I did notice that you did have your Fifth Acres coffee that you had, and we're enjoying it today from the Good Brothers Cafe in Harrisburg. So if you haven't tried it, go online or look at our website to get yourself some Fifth Acres coffee. So I'm glad you're back, and your flowers look absolutely beautiful. Until I go pull them out and put them in my yard.
Well, you should do that before my dog rips them all out of my garden. So yeah, sounds good either way.
We'll work it out. So is it just us today, or do we have a special guest?
Oh, we have a special guest, and I am so thrilled. And so I'll give a quick cheers and hit it off with we have Malin Morrison. She is from the Red Rose Thunder. She's actually the head coach and owner, and we are so thrilled to have you today. Good morning.
Good morning, Malin. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday. It's just absolutely wonderful. I know that you are extremely busy coach, owner of a men's basketball team. I'm not going to steal your thunder, I'll tell your story, but what you're doing is absolutely awesome. And thank you for taking this time on Saturday to join us. And so I'll go ahead and just turn it over to you, like how you got here and what you're planning on doing.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me this Saturday morning with some coffee. It's nothing better on a Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
So yes, I have a men's professional basketball team here in Lancaster County. We are called the Red Rose Thunder, based on the city of Lancaster being the Red Rose, the city of the Red Rose. I run the team with my son. My son is now 17, soon to be 18, Lucas, and this is our third year doing it.
Lucas is a pretty sharp dresser.
Yes.
I see him out there, and he epitomizes the old school coaching style.
Yes, he sure does. He has his famous red suit for all home games.
For home games. Yes.
Yes. Different suit for away games.
That is important because I play ball, and most athletes are very superstitious, and most coaches are too. And so, just tell us a little bit more, like how do you? Because I know the story myself, but I want our followers and listeners to hear like how it all started from you, because you're actually originally from Sweden, and you got your citizenship here in America. To now you're a owner of a basketball team, a men's basketball team at last. So, which is, I'm going to say, a lot of rarities there. So
yeah, you could say that.
You can say that. So I know a lot of women empowerment, but but what you're doing is absolutely amazing. So, but I'll let you go ahead and maybe dive in and share with us how you got from Sweden to actually owning basketball.
The promise. So basketball has always been a main part of my life. When I was 15, actually one of my coaches helped me go to a tryout far away from home to a special basketball high school. In Sweden, the system is different. You don't have school teams. It's more club teams, but select schools, I think there are 3 in the country. They find students from all over, and they select 8 each year, and they live at the school, and we get graded in basketball and everything else. But we can substitute 2 subjects for basketball because it takes that much time. So thanks to my coach going with me, I was able to move at the age of 15. I left home and lived by myself and have since playing basketball. And it was what we did. We traveled the world. We played everywhere. We played in the world championships in Turkey. We got to see a lot. We got to work hard, but it kind of set the path for me for what I wanted to do. So from there on, since we also focused a lot on training and how to take care of our bodies and things like that, I continued in that path. And while I was getting my doctorate in Hebrew and Arabic in Uppsala, Sweden, I was the trainer for an American football team. They're allowed to have 2 Americans on each team because, you know, Swedish players in American football aren't really that great. It's not a popular sport. I mean, we have soccer, we have hockey, we're really good at that. American football, not so much. Long story short, some of those players, they played basketball with me. They're like, Malin, you should come to America and play. I'm like, well, you know. So they knew somebody who called somebody. We sent some film over, and the next fall, I was in Wilmington playing basketball for Wilmington College. And then I transferred to University of Delaware, decided to focus on school, got my degree in 3 years, major in liberal arts. I had physical therapy and Jewish studies. I took that with me because I lived in Israel for a while and finished my degree.
Incredible. I don't mean to stop you there, but you got me stuck when you said you were 15 years old and you went to live on your own and really just dive into basketball. So I'm curious for yourself as well as your family. It sounds like it's sort of like a more normal process. It's a cultural, like, or I'm not sure, but
no, it's not.
How did you
feel? I'm just very independent and always have been. A lot of the other students either lived with families or they lived, you know, they shared an apartment or, you know, we had a business growing up. We had a restaurant growing up. So I was used to having a lot of responsibility. I was used to being in charge. I was used to taking care of things. So for me to do that, that wasn't a big change.
So it's good to know that it's really just Malin in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, here we go. Like I was like, yeah, you had me at the point where you said, you know, I didn't know that Sweden did that. Like they selected people and just
that they do, but a lot of times they would live. It helped. The coach was right there. So I lived in an apartment building and the coach and his wife, they lived like right in the next apartment building. So they were close. So there was always somebody I could go to. And they would always check on me. So I wasn't alone, like, you know, stranded, nobody there.
and then
But yeah, no, it was great.
And you said you got your doctorate degree in Hebrew and
so I didn't finish it because I got offered to go over here. I finished, it was 3 years. I finished the first year and a half, which was the Hebrew part. I didn't finish the Arabic part. So I can't say I have a doctorate degree. I do have a master's, but that is in teaching English as a second language.
Wow, that is absolutely congratulations. That caught me off guard, and I know you, so I didn't know that aspect of it. So I'll speak a little Hebrew with you next time.
Yes, definitely.
On the side, so I can speak a little Hebrew, but not Arabic. Really rusty on that. But that is absolutely amazing. So from Delaware, Wilmington, like now I know that you're in the Red Rose League. Like, how did that all lead up to? Because the league that you're in it's not NBA. How's it affiliated? And I know that you're doing absolutely amazing things. Because I think you started off as a coach, but then you actually bought them. You know, yes. So just kind of fill us in on that because you're very ambitious.
Yeah, I tend to take on too much and then I get overwhelmed, but I try to do it all. So I've been coaching for probably 15, 16 years now. I coached at Manheim for a while with the girls with 8th grade, 9th grade. And then as Lucas was growing up, I coached his team. And then I switched and I coached at Lititz Christian, where we play the games now. And I coached high school over there. And one of the trainers we had to come in and help out with the teams, he somehow got affiliated with an ABA team, which is American Basketball Association team in Ephrata. And they were looking for a coach and he recommended me. So that's how it all started. And then Lucas and I got involved, and me being who I am, I like everything done properly. So I tend to do it all. So we handled everything. We got the players, we helped financially and took care of everything. And the owner at the time was not really following through with his part of the deal and wanted to cancel the team. And I said, no. And it became to the point when there was, he said, you're not allowed to be there. The players pretty much all of them wrote into the association and said, we want Coach Morrison to stay with the team. This is what she's done. We think the team should belong to her. So they all stood up for me, which was nice. And then we ended up buying the team from him.
That's absolutely amazing. So can you explain to us, I know, and maybe some of our followers do, but what is the difference between the NBA down to the ABA league level?
So we have, obviously the NBA is the all-time pro highest league. Then we have the G League, which is, the teams that have players that can sometimes go, like the Sixers have the Blue Coats.
Yes, which I think they won this year.
Yes, we've been to a couple games. Actually, they had a Swedish player this year who we met and, got to know and continued to talk to and to follow his journey and things like that. So that was really neat.
That's awesome.
But then we have the semi-professional leagues, and there's several, and they're all kind of the same level, but they're under the G League. So we have the ABA, we have our league, the ECBL, we have the TBL. And there's probably 5, 6 others, but they're all at that level right below the G League. Okay. So we left the ABA to play in the ECBL instead, which is same level, just different league, more organized, more, I don't know how to put it.
We just recently had a professional Major League Baseball player on, Jeff Bianchi, and he's been in major leagues for 17 years, and he explained, there are 7 layers of playing baseball, and I only knew single A, double A, triple A, and then the majors, but he explained there's a whole different realm of it. And so that's good. So now people know that you just don't go to the NBA. There's a lot of hard work to it.
A lot of hard work. Our players work really hard to get where they are. And at this level, most of them have families, they have jobs, they have all these other responsibilities, and they're trying to fit in and to get the chance to either go to the G League, the NBA. A lot of them are trying to go overseas. We have several players who played with us who are now overseas playing or just came back from playing overseas. So that's how we try to help them. So we talk to agents, we try to give them the film and the platform to show what they can do.
That's phenomenal. Go ahead, Tiffany. You were going to say something?
That's incredible. But I did have another question just around, like you said, Lucas and you really went on into this together, right? And so I think you said you started this 3 years ago, 3 years ago. So if I do my math correctly, he started when he was 14 working in this, right?
Yes.
That's incredible. So did he have a passion that he wanted to be a part of it? Was it something that just, it felt natural because it was like the path that you sort of went down when you got into basketball?
So Lucas, being my son, has never really had a choice. Like, he was born and here was a basketball. so you know,
That makes perfect sense.
and Lucas is super intelligent. Lucas is autistic. He's on the spectrum. So numbers to Lucas is like second nature. So he does all the stats, all the numbers. He can remember every play, every player, every score, every stat for everything. And it's amazing to have him because I don't need to remember any of that because he has it all right here. So he does the play-by-play, the stats right in the middle of the game, and all the players know that. So they know Lucas has everything they need to know right on his iPad, and he can still watch the game and, you know, help me out with things. I'm, you know, question, should I do this or that? That's Lucas. I'll ask Lucas.
And that's not to interrupt, but like I said, he's on the high-end spectrum of autism, correct? And I've had the privilege to speak with this young man, and I'm going to say a man. And when you say knowledgeable, he is like a walking, talking encyclopedia of knowledge. Like, and I was sitting there, I thought I knew my stuff. And, you know, and I'm sitting there having conversations, and I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And when we first met, we met several years ago. So he was only 15 at the time when you and I first were introduced to each other. So I was blown away by that, and I was like, man, he is absolutely remarkable, and he's doing amazing things. But to have him, you know, again, we're bringing awareness to autism and high-end spectrums, is that a lot of people can do a lot of great things, and he's been a key component, as I believe he's the CEO of the basketball team.
And he's grown a lot from when he was younger, because being autistic, it's hard to communicate. You know, it's uncomfortable to look at other people and to have a conversation. We worked on that since he was little. I always made him, you know, speak for himself. And now he's so comfortable. He does not hesitate to be in front of a camera, holding a microphone, you know, having a conversation with a sponsor, with anybody. He's learned, he's grown so much through this process. So this has been huge for both of us.
Okay. And how do because I'm going to say, because I was trying to look up the stats, and you and I were talking the other day about how many women are actually in the ABA or NBA or G League. Not a handful?
Lucas?
Number off the top of your head.
Okay, so there's one more in our league down south, and there's 3 in the ABA as far as we know. I think there's 1 in the NBA, Becky Hamels, and those are all the ones that Lucas knows. Okay, and he says there's a few in the G League. We don't know names, but you know.
Yeah.
So
official,
a few.
A few, but not as many as we need, because we need that crossover. I mean, there's no difference in you coaching. I mean, we're slowly.
There is a difference. There's definitely a difference, and it takes more. It requires more. It requires thicker skin. It requires, and the players, it takes them a little while to get used to it. I see that when I get a new player, they will give me a look like, but then they, you know, realize and learn to respect and see where I'm coming from, because not everything, I don't do everything the same. Not 2 coaches will do exactly the same thing, but there's a different, at least with me, there's a different caring that I think a lot of male coaches don't have. Like our players will do we work with TCP Network here in Lancaster, and they have interviews with the players they call Thunder Thursday. So they will interview a player each Thursday, and kind of like this. And many of them will talk about how I'm not only there for them on the court, I'm also there for them off the court. Like they know they can reach out to me, and that is my goal. That is me paying it forward for the coach who helped me in the past to get me where I am. So that is why I do this. This is why I put everything on the line to do this.
I think that's case in point of how busy you are every day. I mean, really, just it sounds like you're day to day working to support all your players, but when they're on the court, right? But also when they're home, I'm sure you're helping to support them, even if it's for emotional support or whatever that means. So lending them a hand. So it's just incredibly busy. And I know I speak for Lance and myself too, that we're super honored that you took the time today to speak with us and being able to talk with our guests. But I just think it's really amazing hearing your story coming from like Sweden to America. And I can only imagine the just everything that you had to evolve through and getting here and working with the male team. And so like Lance was saying earlier, it's, I don't know if there's a little bit of like having to feel like you have to prove yourself. I'm sure you don't have to prove yourself as much anymore, but you know, I'm sure maybe on those earlier days, did it ever feel like that? Or is that, I don't know if that's
every day. That's every day.
Every day.
Yeah. Everywhere I go, I still feel like I have to prove myself because I feel like their eyes are on me to fail a lot more than it would be on many other coaches.
Well, that's very unfortunate that we live in society.
But as long as that gives me another reason, another incentive to do well, because I want to show that we can do it. There's no reason why we can't. This summer, I will be the first female coach in the Brotherly Love Pro-Am in Philadelphia. And they made a big deal out of that. Hey, we have a female coach. And some of the comments were like, great, finally, a female coach. And I get to coach against, you know, NBA players, G League players. And Lucas is saying there are 15 NBA players in this league this summer. So that's going to be amazing.
Well, that's wonderful, and congratulations. And that is truly remarkable. That's a great honor to have. And you know, and I know that you and I talked, and again, you know, the way the world is moving, you know, and every day is kind of, we're still all trying to find a new normal, you know. But what you're doing is making a movement of like, 'cause there's so many people out there that are saying, "Oh, I would love to coach, but I can't. I'm a female," you know, or I would love to coach, but I'm a male. You know, what would you say to other women out there or other men out there who want to coach and just, you know, afraid to take that step? Because obviously we want to bring a lot of exposure to the Thunder and the ABA league and you know
ECBL.
Yes, that's right, correct.
Okay.
And you know, but also we want people to be able to take charge and not let their dreams just sit on a desk.
Anybody who wants to coach is the right person to coach. Because if you have the love for coaching and you want to do it, then you're the right person to do it. You don't have to be a fantastic basketball player to coach basketball. I mean, it helps me in some ways that I've been where the players are. I've played overseas. I've played, you know, I've played at a higher level. But the coach I had when I went to Basketball High School, he didn't play basketball. He knew the game. He knew how to get us to play the game the right way. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're willing to put in the work and put in the hours and you coach from your heart, you're the right person to coach.
True. Yeah, that is it. And I think that you know, we should see a lot more women coming into the league. And I know, again, I keep going back to it, but I wish you hit the nail on the head, is that you don't have to played, but you have to have knowledge of
Mhm.
it. And you can see, when I'm watching football, yeah, I can tell, well, that guy's never taken a snap. But even though he's never taken a snap, he probably knows more than guys who have taken a snap, because they get so focused on one thing, to where when you've never taken a snap or a shot, a free throw, you have to be focused on the whole concept, the whole ball, sort of say, literally
Yes,
speaking. I'm
it's
doing a
it's
basketball
true.
pun here, the whole ball.
Now, it helps having somebody on your, crew, on your team that has been in that position, who knows the feel of, realizing that the basketball is pretty very much so a contact sport, because people who have not played, they think, oh, basketball, you can't touch each other. No, our players get beat up. Literally, not the last game, but the game before, I had 2 players who got a concussion. So it is a very physical game, but it's also a mental game, big time. And we have great people on our staff. We have, Coach Don Butler and his son, Steve Butler. They help us every home game, and they do so much for the team. And just having them there to help us with the players means a lot.
That's fantastic, and a lot of this is, now that you're the owner, so you're carrying the burden, of the owner, of, like, transportation, hotels, and,
Mhm.
and traveling, marketing, and then you got Lucas, who's the CEO, who is like everything that you're not. So wow, this is such a great opportunity to do something with the family.
Yes.
But, that it's truly remarkable. And like I said, when and I had started thinking about this story, I was like, and more people need to hear about how, this all came apart, and then how successful you are. But it's
And
just not success on the court. It's, I think you define success how you're developing men, boys that may come into men, and watching their careers grow over the years.
I'll also say, I think you can define success as well as, are you doing something that means something to you, right? That you're passionate
yes.
about. And I think that there's no doubt that you're 150% passionate about what you do. And also Lucas, that now you're essentially role models for other individuals, like you said. So hopefully, in the future, you're helping to represent and bring awareness to others that, like you said, whether it's because you have a passion, you want to do it, don't hold back because you're a female or whatever reason you're going to give yourself an excuse that you feel like you're not good enough. You need to stop telling yourself that, and telling how important and how valuable you are to doing something that is passionate to you. And so hopefully, like Lance said earlier, there's a lot more women or little girls in the future that can say, hey, Malin can do it, I can do it. And so
Oh,
I'm excited to see what that future looks like.
Yeah, great.
I
And
love
also,
that.
I wanted to ask, how long is your season? Because obviously, the NBA, we know they play forever. But how long is a typical season for you? I mean, I imagine it's
So
year
our
round.
season, in the ECBL, we start later, which I actually prefer. So we start our season end of February, beginning of March. And we will finish up, depending how far we're going to playoffs, we'll finish up end of June.
Okay.
So Lucas likes that too, because that means during football season, we're not completely focused on our own season.
Yes, you guys can watch the Eagles.
Yes.
Uh, yes, exactly. And tonight, and the 76ers, and everything else like that. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
but also
During
with
that
that.
time, we try to give the players different opportunities. That's not just the league. In December, we took a team over to Las Vegas, trying to get them to be seen and, in different showcases and things like that. And just to give them the experience to actually travel as a pro. Everything covered, and just have them feel like they are as special as they are because they work so hard. So we wanted them to have that experience.
And I'm going to ask this, and I probably do know the answer, but where are most of the players coming from? Are they potentials that didn't make it, didn't get highly recruited out of high school, guys who just, just stop playing and say, hey, you know what, I can pick up, and still do that? Where most of them come from?
Um, Most of our players, I would say almost all of them, played in college, ranging from D1 and lower. Many of them have had overseas experience. One of them, Quentin Davis, he played for us the first season, then he went overseas, and now he's back playing with us again. We have one player who just yesterday texted me, hey, coach, an agent reached out, I might play in the Dominican Republic. So they're getting the opportunities, and they all, 3 of them, I think, played for Newman College, right? Where did Beach go? And our captain went to Wisconsin. So they've all had college basketball experience.
Okay, that's great. So yeah, I didn't think it'd be like old timers like me coming out of retirement, trying to lace up my high tops again, and saying I can still drain the three. But
We have shootouts. We have competitions at the games. One of our main team sponsor, Auto One of Lancaster, they gave out a $200 gift certificate to an auto detailing thing for a 3-point contest the last game. So we have things like that at the games.
I didn't come out of retirement. I probably won't be able to move the next day. But right. There was a time back in my day that I was a good basketball player.
You should come out. They're fun games.
Yes, and then
it's for the kids.
Yes, and how often do you guys play during the week?
We play all our games on Saturdays at home. So we have a game now this Saturday again against a team from Massachusetts.
Okay.
They actually have one of their most well-known player is, what's his first name? Karan Iverson. He's Allen Iverson's cousin. So he has G League experience and a lot of experience. So it'd be fun playing against him.
Yeah, it comes from good stock because Iverson was really good. He didn't practice much. But he was really
practice. We talked about practice.
What do you mean you're talking about practice? I don't practice.
I know. Now his cousin is a little taller. He's 6'11", so.
Oh yeah, he's much
but still very talented.
That is absolutely awesome, and I know it's Saturday, and I know that you're busy, and obviously there's a game. Tiffany, I know that I don't want to keep up any more time, but I just wanted to bring exposure to you, to the league, to women empowerment, to, as Tiffany mentioned, all those little girls that are sitting at home saying, I want to grow up and do this, and they'll see this podcast and. Hopefully the parents will show them and say, hey, Malin's doing that. And, so you can set the bar, or I can say the blueprint for a lot of people to come, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Malin, thank you so much for your time today, and I greatly appreciate it. And I know, like Lance said, I know you have busy things to do.
We have game day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we're making sure that she has to stay focused. So, but no, we want to say good luck to you, to all your players. As an owner, coach, to Lucas. Again, I want to bring attention to autism. People look at it as a different form, but they really shouldn't, and really focus on that and learn more about it, because Lucas is a bright young man, and I know one day that I can see Lucas being in a press box or on the court side calling a game. I don't know if that's what he wants to do in life, but just my interactions with him, I'll probably be an old man by then. Well, depends how fast he moves through. But I won't be one bit surprised when they call Lucas Morrison on the sideline and he's calling a game or even coaching somewhere. That won't surprise me one bit. He's a truly remarkable man that you have raised, and you're doing truly amazing things, and you are making a difference in the world today, and just keep making a difference.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And good luck today.
Thank you.
Cheers.